So now that I've explained the basic fear-greed dynamics that go into the human brain and how it impacts the markets, let me teach you or talk about how you can deal with it, okay? How you can take your brain and you can reverse those two emotions so that fear fires off at the right time and greed fires off at the right time. Because again, if you can't get these two things right, you can forget about it. It's impossible to trade successfully without understanding and completely internalizing fear and greed as a trader. So let me tell you a little bit about this, okay? The way to do it, the fastest way, there's two ways to do it. One, you could trade a mechanical system or have someone give you trades. If you use my services, that's fine. If you use somebody else's services, that's fine. Then all you need to do is follow them. What I found is when you're following somebody else's service, you take the blame away from yourself and you put it on that person, that guru or that advisor or whatever, whoever that person is. Or if it's a mechanical system that you're running yourself, you can blame the system. But usually, the problem with the fear and greed emotional responses, they really pop up when you're just doing discretionary trading. And that's when you trade, when you feel things are going up and you get out when things are going, basically you don't have rules. So the first way, and the best way to get over this fear and greed dynamic that's completely haywired in your brain is to trade a mechanical system. If you trade a mechanical system, then the only thing you have to do is just follow the rules. And then if you don't follow the rules, then you have yourself to blame. But at least you have hard rules that you can follow and you have a game plan. If you don't do that, then you don't have a roadmap. You're just kind of, it's like going on a trip without knowing where you're going, when you're going to get there, not planning anything. You're pretty much going to go around in a circle and your emotions are going to dictate what you do. We don't want that. We never ever want your emotions to dictate what you're going to do. We want trading decisions. We want things that you did prior to. We want preparation and good judgment to dictate your decisions, not fear and greed. That's not going to lead to anything. That's worse than gambling. Because when you're gambling, you at least get comped for losing when you're in Las Vegas. In trading, you pay commission as well. So there's no advantage to doing that. So one way is to trade a mechanical system. The second way, and another way, is consider every individual trade to be a simple transaction. When you see rain outside, you don't go outside and say to yourself, it's going to rain, it's raining now, it's going to rain for the rest of the year. Unless you live in that kind of a climate like Seattle where it rains almost every day, that's not a reality. So don't take what happened and turn it into what may happen in the future. And this happens after 4 or 5 losers. A trader gets 4 or 5 losers, loses his confidence or her confidence, and then they start just going nuts and trading like a cowboy. And getting in, getting out, not using any kind of a rule-based system. So having a rule-based system or treating every individual trade just like a number is the best way to rewire your brain to understand fear and greed the right way. You can't look at every individual trade and give it meaning, because the truth of the matter is, no matter how good you are, every individual trade is random. When someone is counting cards at the roulette table, they're not counting cards to determine what the next set of cards is going to do. They're looking to win the game over the next 50, 60, 80 moves, okay? Not the next move. So when you have a system and it has an edge, that edge works out over time. You don't see that edge on individual trades. You see that edge over time. So don't look or decide anything on individual trades. The only thing individual trades should do, they should give you a good idea of where your risk is and where your profit is. And your job is to follow the rules and make sure you liquidate at a profit target and you take your loss as quickly as possible when the system tells you. But again, the fastest way and the best way to reverse these two psychological triggers that completely sabotage most traders is to use a system, use someone else's system. We have plenty of those. I can tell you all about it in other videos. Or treat every single trade like a number. Don't make a rational, don't make a story. Don't make a case from 3 or 4 trades because they mean nothing. I get emails from students Roger, your system sucks. I had 3 losers in a row. Well, just today, yesterday, one of our systems made a new high and it had 5, 6, 7, 8 losers in a row. And imagine you conclude on the 6th or 5th or 7th or 8th trade that the system no longer works and you stop trading it. Well, guess what? Probably 50% of the people in that program did that. And now they're saying, I shouldn't have done that. The system's at a new high. I should have just continued trading it. So again, don't focus on individual trades. It's like watching a movie and focusing on each line. You don't do that. People don't do that. You don't micro focus on things. You want to focus on the bigger picture. And that's the best way. That's the best way to rewire your mind and reverse how your mind interprets fear and greed. And once you can do that, you will put yourself on the same playing field as a professional trader. Look, at one point, I was trading a hedge fund. I was trading commodities. I was trading position limits in corn. I had to liquidate positions because the exchange would call me and tell me I was going over position limits. That means my position size at times was over 20, 30, 40 million dollars, okay? So imagine trading 100 shares and imagine trading 50,000 shares or equivalent of it. The difference is just eye-opening. But when you're a professional trader, you have to think clearly and your fear and greed has to fire off at the right time. And that's what you'll do. That's what you'll slowly learn to do by not following every trade like it means something, because it really doesn't. Each individual trade is just a series of numbers. Or if it's hard for you, if it's too complicated, don't do it. Just follow somebody else. Follow a system or a strategy that's objective, that has a track record, and can help you get on the right track yourself, all right? I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really means a lot to me. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. Reach out. If you have a question, let me know. Send me a video, send me a Skype, send me a text, send me a response in this channel. I want to hear from you. Talk soon.